PC culture has gone to the point that we are willing to put people in danger to appease the horde.
Hey everybody!
Yo, what's
Welcome
up?
back to Cattablah. Whoop! Well, there you have it. So we're continuing on with Donkey Kong Country 3 during our Talk and Play series, which is like a podcast, but much better because you get to see stuff like that.
Where we talk about real that a lot of people have problems talking about, don't really want to talk about, but we thoroughly believe that
Are you going to try for the record?
I guess I can. That you should be able to talk about anything, and that the problem with society right now is that people can't have normal conversations. So that's the point of these if you're new to them. And today's topic is PC culture putting people in danger. Specifically when we throw rationality out the window in order to appease a group of people that have things wrong.
Alright, so yeah, tell me your example. Tell me your example.
So, recently, and I know this might offend some people, but I was in a conversation with a security detail, and the security detail was a woman, which, all the power to her, that's great. I think that was a very good career to get into. But what I have a problem with was that recently her company put into effect that a woman does not need to be...
Woo! Aww.
Does not need to be accompanied by a man because men and women should be considered equal. And this is where things come into question is, and we were discussing this off camera, if this little security woman, I don't really care how much self-defense she has, but if me, a 6'6", almost 300-pound man, ran at her full force with the intent to hurt or kill, she's in trouble. I don't care how much you believe there is equality there, and we've talked about this before with women fighting men in sports, how it's not a good thing, but this company has essentially put women in danger that they don't have that backup anymore. They work their post alone, and psycho guy comes after them twice their size. She's likely to be seriously hurt or die.
And I mean, like, let's be real, if some dude ran at me that was twice my size, I probably couldn't fight him off. Like, it's just a matter of they have a lot more mass, they have a lot more weight that they can throw around. You have to be way, way stronger than them to overcome their already advantage.
Yeah.
And women are just naturally smaller than men, so already they have to overcome that advantage. And I mean, oh boy. And I mean, yeah, you know, you can be trained, and that will definitely give you a better chance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, nobody's saying that it's all of a sudden a fair fight. Like, you know, you both square up across from each other, you both have an equal chance in this fight. That's not how fights usually work. Like, if he surprised you, you know, as a decently sized man, like I'm over 6 feet as well, I might not even be able to fight him off.
Yeah.
And then now you like, how big was this woman?
Like 5'5". Like I could pound her into the ground like a cartoon character.
So I mean, yeah. So she's 5'5". She's already much smaller. So that's just, regardless if you're a man or a woman, you have to overcome that size difference and power difference.
Yeah.
You know, you're already at a disadvantage just biologically.
Yeah.
And I mean, anybody that wants to argue that there's that biological difference, I mean, you can argue all you want. You're wrong.
Yeah. Leave your comment in the below, and we'll argue with you as to why you need to change your view.
I mean, it's that's the problem. Is like everybody wants to push for equality, that men and women can compete on the same field. I'm sorry, but that's just not the case.
There are just some things that men and women just were different, and that equality just it can't happen. And I'm not talking about the wage gap or anything like that. Leave that completely out of it. I'm talking about biology. For example, you take a 5'5" man, a 5'5" woman, put them through the same training regiment. That man, because of his testosterone, his different muscle structure, and his denser bone structure, is gonna destroy that woman.
I mean, it might not be destroyed, but he already kind of has a biological advantage.
Yep.
Just by the way that he's built. And, you know, I'm not saying, like, you know, okay, yeah, she has, going back to the security girl, you know, she gets the training, and maybe, you know, anybody who's maybe just a little bit bigger than her, if she sees the threat coming, you know, she may have a better than decent chance at still, you know, winning this fight. Because, you know, she has the training, she knows what to do, and she sees it coming, so she's not surprised. Whereas, you know, I guess you put a same size or bigger man in the same situation, well, he's probably just has a better chance.
Yeah. And you know what? Training in defensive measures is only going to take you so far. Like, for example, if let's say she puts my arm behind my back, for example, she doesn't have enough strength to keep me like that. I'm going to throw her through the wall at Mach 3. Ooh, believe that. I did it! Yeah, she's gone. Because, yeah, you can get them into that position, but you just shake her off like a chihuahua. It's just and I felt so bad for her that the PC culture had brainwashed her into thinking that she would be fine because she's a strong, independent woman. You can be as strong as independent as you want, but if a man wants to beat the shit out of you, he's gonna beat the shit out of you.
And I mean, I'm not even specifically talking women. I'm like, yes, obviously that is kind of the thesis here, but at the same time, if I was put into the same situation, there is no guarantee that even I would be able to fight my way out of it. Like, if I was surprised, you know, if it's not a fair fight and you get surprised by somebody, the bigger you are, the better chance I feel like you have of being able to defend yourself. That's just the way physics and biology works. Where, like, you know, somebody's small, like, even you look at a smaller guy, like, I feel confident that given the same skill set, I could probably beat up a man who is smaller than me.
Yep.
That's just the way things work. That's how physics and biology works. Now, really?
Like, there's a reason why in fighting, for example, because we really are talking about physical limitations. Look at the UFC, boxing, whatever. They have gender classes, and they also have weight classes, and there's a significant reason for that. If I was going toe-to-toe with Shaquille O'Neal or The Rock or something, they're bigger than me. They have a bigger muscle mass than me. They're going to destroy me.
Yeah.
So why are we empowering these women to think that in the same scenario that they can win? Because they can't. And we were talking about it before where, you know, let's say you have a grouping of two people. If you have a man and a woman at the post as a security detail or whatever have you, and then two big men show up, I mean, the man and the woman pairing, they're at a disadvantage. That man on the security detail is going to have to work a lot harder and doesn't have as much backup. Because what's she going to do? Slap him with her purse?
Well, now you're just getting sexist.
Yeah, I know. I said that as a joke. I don't actually mean that. But I just... PC culture has gone to the point that we are willing to put people in danger to appease the horde. Like, millennials are the worst generation ever, period. Like, and we're millennials.
Go in there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people would absolutely argue that no, you know, in the same scenario, she could defend herself just fine. You know what? Maybe.
Did I get anything?
Yeah, oh. He hits the log out.
Oh, okay.
In some scenarios, I think with proper training, yeah, you know, she could have a decent chance. I'm just saying, you put you know, a man who's bigger naturally. I mean, Yeah, you could get a bigger woman too, and she'd probably have a better chance, but at the same time, its biology is tough to overcome.
It is.
That's just a lot of, you can argue that until you're blue in the face, but it's a thing.
And I don't want to get into whole gender stuff because it's not what this is about. So please don't flame in the comments for that because it's not what we're talking about. We're simply talking about strength differences between men and women. And if you don't believe it, just you can prove it yourself by looking up a couple of things. This is where I need to go, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, if you don't think men and women are different, then why in sports are the men in high school matching the Olympic athletes for women? Like there is a reason.
Well, I mean, if there was no difference, they would make them both compete against each other.
Yeah.
But there is, so they don't.
We've done this for safety reasons. Like, why are we trying to go against the rules and whatnot that we've put in place to protect people who aren't as strong just because people's feelings might get just because people's feelings might get hurt? It's so counterintuitive.
You can take the PC culture kind of as far as you want, but yeah, I don't know. How you can only be so delusional before now you're just endangering people.
Exactly. Like, how far? Oh, this is hard with him.
It is, yeah.
How far do we have to go before somebody gets seriously hurt until we realize, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best thing for us to be doing. Maybe we shouldn't be allowing women to fight men and women to be alone at night and be killed and.
But I mean, the argument for that is that women shouldn't. They should feel safe being, walking out at night.
Oh yeah, they should be. Men are
absolutely. You know what?
Men suck.
You know what? And nobody's saying that it's just men attacking. Well, I mean, I would say probably the majority is, but a woman could attack another woman too, and I mean, I feel like they would probably have not as good of a chance attacking a man during the night.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's men suck. There's disgusting men out there, and I want to protect women from those men.
Yeah, we're definitely not arguing the fact that women shouldn't feel safe at all times, because anybody should feel safe at all times. It's that's not what we're arguing here. We're just simply arguing in this case where they want to say that she is safe on her own. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
And you know what? You give the other person, I know we were specifically talking about a fist fight. Maybe they have a weapon, and in that case, it doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman. You're already at a disadvantage because they have a weapon now.
Yeah.
So, we're strictly talking, what if somebody was going crazy and I was getting attacked by this person? Would I feel like, oh really? I have a better chance of being saved by a woman coming to intervene or versus a big man coming to intervene?
Save me, big man.
And I feel like it's really tough to talk about this without really sounding like kind of gender biased about it, but
that is exactly the mentality that PC culture has started, where we can't say that women need to be protected without sounding like chauvinistic pigs. And that's the problem that I see, because that the people that decided this, are some dumb
don't even say it. Yes.
Millennial, scarf wearing,
beanie having, beard having.
Yeah. Like, at some point that we have to realize that just because you don't want to offend people does not mean that we should be ignoring facts.
Or putting people's safety at risk to try and make everybody feel better about it.
Like, if I met the manager or the owner that made that rule that a woman does not have to be accompanied by a man in something that could be a dangerous job, I would slap the crap out of him. Because, and I have 3 younger sisters, and I'm getting married, and, you know, I have a lot of female influence in my life, and they are tough women. They are. They can take care of themselves. Was this Kill the Baddies? Yeah, I think so. They're tough women, but at the same time, I would never put them in that situation.
Where? I don't know where the coin is. Okay, I need to read.
Start, maybe?
I need to read what that actually is. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's...
You know, as much as I would love to say that, you know, women can do anything men can do, and there is a lot of stuff, you know, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, like there's... and it's not every sport, like we were talking about earlier. Finesse sports, women are just as good as men.
Or better, honestly. Like when you look at stuff like gymnastics, you look at stuff like...
diving.
Figure skating, they just...
They blow men out of the water most of the time, and sure, men might be able to jump higher, but the finesse part that they can really train on, they can outclass men. But yeah, specifically strength and physical ability, that is more oftentimes than not. And I'm not saying that there isn't the outliers. There definitely is. We were talking about Ronda Rousey. I know she could kick my butt. But she is an outlier. She is somebody that is very strong, that has a biological makeup that is kind of freaky.
I mean, to be honest, she's trained a lot, fought a lot. She has a lot of experience. And I mean, experience goes a long way too. Like, you know what? The experience, if you get enough of it, and I mean, you're strong enough because you've trained as such, experience can overcome a decent amount of this stuff that we're talking about. But at the same time,
put her in the ring with George St. Pierre,
or somebody who has the same experience, well, they're probably still gonna win.
He'll put her head in the oven and just like, he will. It doesn't matter. Like, same amount of training, the man will beat her. George St. Pierre GSP would absolutely crush her. And she knows that. She's even commented on that. I love Ronda Rousey because she's extremely non-PC.
Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of the interviews with her, and then she just tears the interviewers apart. Because she's always like, why are you bringing equality into this? I make millions of dollars. Like, somebody said Floyd Mayweather making $50 million for a fight. And then she said, yeah, he has like 80 fights. I have 10. I'm sure once I get there, she said, I'm the highest paid UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And it's because they recognize my skill, but I'm nowhere near the experience of these other guys that are bringing in that cash.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah. But anyways, that's beyond the point. I just love her. I like to gush about her. She's great, honestly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a touchy subject, but there's sometimes where you can't overcome biology. It just is what it is. And, you know, what do you guys think about it? You know what? Maybe you have a completely different view on it, and, you know, you think that she should be able to do this by herself, and you know what? I'm sure a lot of people honestly think that.
Well, that's just really unfortunate.
And you know what? And, you know, maybe we have an old school way of thinking about it. Give her a weapon. You know, maybe, okay, now she's got a good a chance as anybody.
Well, I mean, like, tasers don't work. Do you remember that video where they shoot that guy and he's sitting there smoking a cigarette and he says, I'm gonna get you, bitch. And then he puts the cigarette down and gets down, like, all calmly.
Oh, man.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I guess that's kind of our opinion on it. You guys tell us what you think. This is definitely one of probably the more touchy subjects because I mean, especially with that push for equality these days, where sometimes I just feel like that there may never be equality just because I don't know if that's something you could ever overcome because it's biological. And you let us know what you guys think.
Anyways, I guess we're gonna stop it there.
Yep, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.